Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes' Godbreaker. The man who rules the world takes on the Asgardian god of thunder in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' Godbreaker in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Better get the cool slow, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue. I got a comment on my video where I was trying to school a young brother on how to deal with rejection from women, where they took offense to me talking about how he came from a single mother household. Now, in this video, which was a response to a comment regarding an incident that took place at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, where a 13-year-old girl got stabbed, all because she rejected the advances of a teenage boy, I was responding to the comment of a viewer who wanted to say that those girls should have been nicer when they rejected them. And I wanted to school the young man because the statement he was making basically came from the naivete of a guy who came from a single mother household, because boys with fathers and men in their lives would have sat down and talked to that young man who was interested in girls and let him know that when it comes to girls, there's a lot of rejection, and a lot of times these girls are going to be nasty when they reject you. That's something that I learned back in about 1985 when I went out here and was starting to talk to girls. I learned back then that yes, you're going to have to deal with a lot of girls being nasty and a lot of girls being cruel. And again, if this boy had some men in his life to teach him about things, that boy would have basically understood that rejection is a part of life and part of the hardness that a man has to deal with in this world. And this viewer basically got upset as I was making that video about me making that observation, which any guy out here would make regarding a statement where you got a guy talking about girls need to be nicer. No, any guy who's been out here in this world knows that girls ain't gonna be nice to you when they reject you. No, a lot of these girls are gonna be cruel, and that's what any guy out here who has any understanding of manhood would know. But this guy wants to go out here and use this as an opportunity to go out here and make the statement, I noticed that you continue to drag individuals who were raised in single mother households, and wanted to go on talking about how while he was raised by a single mother, he's got his college degree, never been in prison, and been employed for mostly of his adult life. Well, I gotta say, bully for you. That's really nice for you. You're one of the exception. But I listened to this argument, and it basically shows me that this guy has the same mindset of the single mother who raised him, because what he's trying to do as he puts on his Mickey Mouse galoshes and his sterling silver armor and his Ben Cooper cape to play the white knight who's going to be the one who tries to save the single mothers, is come out here with the generalization argument that many of these single mothers go out here and make, all because I'm trying to make a video trying to school a young man about a lesson in manhood he has not received. That's what this dude from the single mother household is looking to do as related to this comment. He's looking to go out here and try to be the hero who defends the single mothers, not understanding that what he's doing is trying to minimize a lesson that a man is trying to teach another man, and proving my point about one of my classic books, The Man Crisis, regarding these beta males, in that they have a problem with male authority and male authority figures, and they have a problem when a man goes out here and speaks, because if a woman came out here and spoke, this dude would not even have put a finger to the keyboard of the comment section as related to that video. No, his issue is because a man is speaking to a young boy and teaching him about manhood, and wants to go out here and go into the generalization argument and shaming language. Oh, I noticed that you continue to drag individuals who were raised in single mother households. Yeah, I do go out here and call those guys out. I call those guys out because I understand that they are basically pawns as related to a situation where they don't even see how men are trying to help them. They're basically pawns that women use and weaponize as tools to go out here and keep men from being able to speak their mind and teach other men what they need. No, what these single moms do is go out here and fill these guys' heads with a lot of misinformation regarding men. And the irony is that they don't get the other component of information that they need to be able to function as men in the world. Because in the Bible, basically, God made the man to be the head. God made the man to be the leader and the steward who serves him and is accountable to him. But this guy doesn't understand his role as a man because he's been taught by a woman who basically has been indoctrinated into feminism and wants to maintain the power that she's been given by the global elite who run corporate America and want to keep her power. And that's one of the things this guy doesn't understand because he comes from a single mother household and doesn't understand that as he's in that single mother household, you are basically going out here with a head filled with misinformation, filled with a lot of misinformation regarding manhood and masculinity, because a woman cannot teach you how to be a man because the world works completely different for a man than it does for a woman. I go in depth on this in my book, The Man Crisis, because there are so many males out here who have no understanding of what it means to be a man because they've been indoctrinated into this feminist culture where they wanted to produce this kinder, gentler, softer male. And this kinder, gentler, softer male basically is running around, doesn't understand how to function in the world because he's basically been raised by a woman and he's trying to use female approaches in a world of men, not understanding that female approaches to life don't work for men. And that's what basically leads to these guys winding up becoming failures in spite of having all the so-called success in the world. And they become failures because they don't get that code on how to be a man, because the only person who can teach a boy about the code of manhood that comes from God is coming from another man, and only a man can teach you those things regarding to male life skills, male survival skills, and be able to navigate a course in life, because men understand the written and unwritten social rules of manhood. This is what is written as related to on the heart of man by God, and you miss out on all of that when you don't have a father or don't have other men in your life to understand these things. You miss out on all of that because you don't have a father there to teach you, and that's what this viewer doesn't understand regarding what I was saying in that video where I was trying to school that young brother about how to deal with rejection from women. Because in that video, again, I was teaching a manhood lesson only another man would know. Only another man would know about rejection and understand to let that brother know that it's not going to these girls are not going to be nicer to him. No, that man is going to sit down and tell him, look, those girls are going to get meaner and even nastier, and you've got to be able to control yourself and navigate through your emotions in order to maintain your freedom. Then one of the most important intangibles of manhood. That's what I was talking about in the video where the girl got stabbed in the Barclays Center, trying to break that down. But I got to break this down to this individual who has been raised in a single mother household and wants to sit here and believe, oh, because I was raised by a single mom, I got a college degree, never been in prison, and never been employed, that he's a success. No, dude, you're a complete failure, and you're a complete failure because basically you came out here and you saw this video, and the reason why you wrote that comment was because you were in your emotions about a man going out here and teaching another man, and you were in your emotions because you couldn't stand seeing a man being in a position where he was in charge. And that's the first thing that guys who come from single mother households have a problem with, is they have a problem with male authority. They have a problem with male authority figures, and they have an issue when a man is out here asserting himself as a man, because he's used to the only person being an authority is women. And that basically shows that even though this dude has a degree, he doesn't know how to function as a man, because again, another man sits there, and I'll repeat it again, when he sees a man taking care of business, and schooling another man, he understands, yeah, that brother is taking care of business, so he understands that what's going on, and he don't really go out here interfering and putting up stupid statements like this. And they don't come in talking about, oh, you're always calling out guys from single mother households, because they understand when a man is trying to teach another man that you need to go out here and sit here and learn some lessons. You need to learn some lessons, because what this man is trying to teach you is related to the unwritten code your mama never taught you. Your mama never taught you about the unwritten code related to men. And when a man is talking to another man, what you need to do is shut the fuck up and listen to when that man is talking to you, because if that man doesn't have to take the time to sit down and listen to you, and he doesn't have to take the time to sit down and listen to talk to you, he could just let you hit that wall extra hard and let you hit that wall and head to a place like those dudes who stabbed that girl, or they're headed to the penitentiary because there was no man to teach them about rejection. But this guy again thinks that he's again on his way, that he's on his way with this college degree and his job, not understanding that you didn't learn certain lessons about manhood. You didn't get many lessons about manhood, and you don't know what you're going to run into until you run into it. And with guys like this, they sit there and think, oh, I got me a job, I got me a college degree, I ain't never been in prison. But I guarantee you, dudes like this get played by women, they get used by women, because they basically don't have any sort of understanding about women, because they never had a man to teach them about them. And that basically shows by this guy's behavior as he runs to defend his mama in a video that wasn't talking about his mama at all, because he's like, oh, you're general. Basically, he's saying the same statement that his mama's making. Oh, all of us guys who come from single mother households aren't like those other guys. No, while many of you guys, again, have your college degrees and your jobs, a lot of you are dysfunctional. And when it comes to guys from single mother households, they are a cauldron of dysfunction. And I grew up around a lot of these dudes who come from these single mother households. And a lot of these dudes from single mother households, they have a completely messed up mindset as related to life. A lot of these guys basically they act just like women. They gossip just like women, and they have the same mindset as women. They're more focused on relationships and things like dating and stuff, because that's what their mom is focused on, because mom wants a man, and that's what leads to them wanting women and going after women, or going out here and getting involved in all sorts of antisocial behaviors. Because from my years of research on these kind of guys, I did appearances on different shows regarding them. Again, the statistics show that the guys who come from single mother households are a major problem, because 80% of these guys who come from single mother households are most of the convicts in jail. 95% of the mass shooters that I've done multiple videos on over the last 7 or 8 years are coming from single mother households. 100% of the serial killers I have done videos on as related to the historical Men in Crisis series, almost all of those serial killers came from single mother households. So when I go out here and I talk about single mothers, I have seen the damage firsthand that these single mothers do to boys. And that's why I could write things like classic blogs like Ways Single Mothers Destroy Their Sons, a blog that was so popular that it went viral and led to me getting an appearance on a radio show. And it was so good I put it in my book, The Man Crisis, and my classic video and classic viral blog, Why Smart Men Avoid Single Mothers. These are things that I have seen firsthand growing up in the South Bronx. So I have seen the dysfunction from boys who come from single mother households, because these boys don't understand things like being in a structured environment. They don't understand discipline. They don't have any sort of resolve. And some of these guys, yeah, they can go to college and get college degrees, but the whole thing is that they don't know how to function as men, because they have never been taught how to function as men in this world. And this guy basically showed this to me in the comment that he made and the slick statement that he made at the end of the comment, where he asked, when was my last job? Now that's the kind of statement a dude from a female-headed household goes out here and makes, because a dude from a female-headed household, what he wants to do, like his mama, is go out here and, one, try to get the last word, and then two, try to take a shot at a man. They do this because this is the model that he saw that his mama was doing with different guys in an effort to emasculate them. And when I listen to that statement, again, it shows me how this guy basically doesn't see how his single mother has messed him up, even though he's got this college degree and his job. Because if he go out here and take a shot at me like he did at the job, at a male boss, what that boss is going to do is go out here and take him in the office with some security guards and terminate him. That's what this dude doesn't understand. Again, when you see he went out here taking a shot at me being out of work for 15 years, even though I've had my own business. I've been working at this SJS Direct imprint since 2009. Now, I have been working again on my stuff, but this guy basically doesn't want to go out here and understand that when a man is talking to him, a man talks to him because he cares about him, and talks to him because he cares about him, and because he understands that, yeah, you may be the exception to the rule that got your little college degree and your job, but sadly, you're going to be like that black woman who basically goes out here and talks about, oh, I got my degree, I got my job, I'm making money. Well, guess what? That's not all you need out here, because in this world, a man needs to understand that he has to have male life skills or male survival skills, because you can lose that job like that if you get in the face of a boss and make a shot at me like you did with me. I mean, if you come in a boss's face and and try to do a sneak diss like that, that boss is going to take that as a disrespect, and guess what? You're going to be out of that job, and it won't matter at that point about your college degree, because you'll be just like those ratchet chicks who all got their college degrees and got their job, but find themselves out of jobs because they get in their feelings and go out here and say or do something that winds up making one of these guys who are in charge upset. And that's all showing how you don't understand the first talking point I made in this video, how to respect male authority and male authority figures. And that's what happens to a lot of these guys who come from a single mother household. They don't know how to function around men, and that's how those males wind up with their whole life fucked up, because they don't know how to function around men. And because they don't know how to function around male authority figures, what they do is see another male who's a boss as someone who is a subordinate. Even if he's got a title of a manager or a supervisor, he doesn't, or even a police officer, if he runs into another man, what that male does is go out here and challenge that man. And that when he challenges that man, he's the one who winds up losing, and he's sitting there scratching his head after he gets arrested or he loses his job. He's sitting up there scratching his head, wondering why this happened. And the reason why it happened is because he didn't understand that when you enter the world of men, there's a whole different set of rules, a whole different set of rules that only other men understand. And sadly, you don't want to learn those rules because you have been taught by mama to hate other men and hate when other men speak to you. You hate it when another man sits down and wants to talk to you. No, you want to hear from another woman. Ironically, not seeing how that single mom, basically as your first teacher, taught you dysfunction from minute one, taught you dysfunction that basically is going to put you in a place where you're going to be messed up. And again, don't want to understand that many of these guys who came from single mother households, the reason why they are menaces and drains on society is because mama went out here and didn't teach them what they needed, like the late Tupac Shakur didn't get. And then he came out with the song, Dear Mama, putting mama on a pedestal. But mama put him in a situation where he could not be able to enjoy his success because he didn't get the male life skills or male survival skills from his father to be able to navigate that entertainment industry. And sadly, what happened to Tupac is, again, he had the great success but lost it all when he was young because he didn't have a father there to teach him, hey, when you're in these business circles, you got to move a certain way because only a man knows how how a boy is supposed to move and navigate life as a man, because a man, again, is the only one who can teach a boy to be a man. Even though many of these single mothers want to sit there and believe they can raise a boy to be a man, yeah, they'll let you have a job here or there, but again, it's hard to keep those jobs if you don't know how to control yourself. Now, this guy wanted to, again, take a shot at me as related to being unemployable and talking about I'm envious of men with resources. I'm not envious of anyone. No, I trust God to give me what he gives me, and I try to do my best to go out here. I have been out here, again, for years trying to, again, get one of these jobs, and I know how hard it is to get another job when you lose one. I know how hard it is to get one when you lose one, and I know the guys who have it the hardest are the guys who come from the single mother households who don't know about how this world of work works, and they don't know about how there are a lot of these females out here who basically go out here and hire simps and beta males that they can go out here and use as tools. I guarantee you possibly this guy is the one who's doing the overtime and doing the extra work and basically thinking that he's getting ahead in the job, not understanding how these females are using him. He's sitting there taking shots at me, and as related to me being out of work at one of these companies, not seeing that I've been building my own business on the side for some time because I understand how this job market works, but I have to wonder how this dude would function on a job if he lost his job. I have to wonder how he'd function if he lost his job and learned the truth about the HR brick wall erected by feminists to keep men out of the job. And I wonder how he'd function as related to things because he doesn't understand how hard this world is because he didn't get that part of the code from men, and doesn't understand that I go in on these single mothers because I understand these single mothers willfully and intentionally have been misleading boys for 60 years. I understand they have been misleading boys as related to the role that God gave them as men. I understand that these women have been misleading boys to try to make them kinder, gentler, and softer. And I see the end result of them raising these boys to be kinder, gentler, and softer. And it creates these beta male ticking time bombs. And these guys basically wind up falling apart over things that boys my age back in the 1980s could go out here and handle. A lot of us guys in the 1980s, when a girl went out here and dissed us and rejected us, we didn't get mad. We just basically charged that chick to the game and maintained our intangibles such as our dignity, our self-respect, and mostly importantly, our freedom. And when we saw another man taking a minute to sit down and talk to a boy about manhood, we sat down and listened to that man because we understood that we needed to listen to that man because he knew something that these women did not. Because a lot of women will say, oh, don't listen to that man. He don't know what he's talking about. I used to hear that a lot when I was growing up. But I understood I needed to sit down and listen when these men talked, because when a man is taking a minute to talk to you, that's something you should appreciate, because that shows that that man cares about you. And that man cares about you enough because he doesn't want to see you get jammed up, because it's easy to get jammed up moving in these streets. It's easy to get yourself jammed up by getting in your feelings and acting impulsively. That's what I was trying to teach in that video that Mr. College Educated don't understand. Mr. College Educated don't understand when I saw a young brother who didn't know things, and because he couldn't understand that the man code, he's coming in, oh, you're always going after guys who are single mothers. These are the guys who need this information because they ain't got that information. No, you're running around with a head full of crap that your mama taught you, and you go out in the world and you run into one of these women or one of these bosses at the job, and that can just basically throw your whole life out of order. That's what I'm trying to school this dude on. They don't care about your degrees, just like they don't care about that black woman's degrees. They don't care about your degrees. They don't care about your job. This is about you understanding how to function as a man, because this world is rough on men. It's always been rough on men since the fall of man. Ever since Adam and Eve has sinned, it's been hard on men, and you need to understand how hard it is for a man. And you need to understand when a man is trying to teach you about manhood, the thing that you need to do is stop talking and go out here and listen. Now, if you want to learn more about lessons about how single mothers destroy their sons, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And if you want to learn why smart men avoid single mothers, you can watch that classic video, which has over 50,000 views on this channel. And if you want to see me make more videos about men's issues, where I basically take guys like this to the barbecue, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App to help me continue to create more content like this. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback. From the author of the critically acclaimed book, The Man Crisis, comes The Woman Crisis. Learn why so many women have become lost in their quest to have it all in The Woman Crisis. Get your copy of The Woman Crisis in paperback at Amazon.com and online booksellers today.
Now available for the first time in paperback, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. Learn all the reasons why so many black women can't find a husband and why 70% of black women are single. Get your copy of Why 70% of Black Women Are Single on Amazon.com today.
Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.